Hi everybody. I thought I would come in and do a quick video today to show you the cards we made in our mystery swap group last night. I made an elegant card. It turned out so pretty. And then today I'm going to show you how to make that one, and then I'm going to show you how to make a little whimsical one. And I'm trying to see real quick if it is showing up in the group feed. A while ago it took quite a while and I deleted it before it started to show up. So let me well, I don't know where it's at, but we'll go ahead without it. Okay, the first card that I made was this elegant, I mean, look at the shine. This, I just love this card. I didn't even add any bling because with the gold paper, it was just gorgeous. And then I just used a little strip of the paper to add to the inside. And I thought that turned out really pretty. The goal of the card was actually to flip, you know, like the opposite corners, but I just liked it so much using this paper that I didn't flip my designer paper. I just left it like it was. And then I used the bow out of this Christmas greenery set, the bow, and I doubled it so that I got a little bit of the cherry cobbler and a little bit of the gold. And then, excuse me, this tag is a new tag, new punch that you can buy. I think it's today that it went live, and this is called the Sign Design Punch, number 166056. And I think that'll be a very versatile punch. And you'll see I used it and made 3 different layers, and I just moved it up at the bottom. Let me grab a piece of scrap paper and I'll show you. It doesn't cut as well with paper as it does with cardstock, but I just didn't go down as far. I just cut like up here, and then that gave me just a little shorter layer for my focal point here. Okay, and then let me check my feed one more time. I don't know why it's not showing up. You have to love Facebook, or not, I swear. Oh, I don't know why this isn't showing up. I wanted to make sure I was in view because the last video I did, some of my, oh, I know why. I was clicking with my left hand, and of course, that was using the wrong button on my mouse. So, nope, it's still not there. I don't understand. Oh, there it is. And let me turn off. I think the volume is turned off. Okay. That's all I wanted, was to make sure that I'm still in view. Okay, let's make this card real quick. And I also used the greetings from Delicate Pines, which is available in the on the website. This was in the mini catalog, I believe, and then seasonal tags. And I used the Merry and the Christmas. And this didn't have dies, it's just the stamp set. Now this one did come, this one came with something. Oh, this one does have dies. I just don't have them in the case because they were too large. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry, I feel a little haphazard today. Okay, first I'm going to show you this gorgeous paper that we used on this card. And it's called Traditions of Christmas. And this is specialty paper, which has the gold foil. I mean, look at that shine. And these images cut out with the dies. And this whole bouquet cuts out with the dies. Then you've got this piece with the pink poinsettias back. And this was my favorite piece. I love this piece of designer paper. And this was the back. And I just, like, to make the elegant card, I just didn't think the green worked in flipping, you know, flipping the little panels. And then this last piece. And the back is this cute plaid. And then you can also purchase now a scrap kit that you can use, like, for scrapbooking, and use that same paper. And it's got all the same colors. And then these are stickers that you can just pull off and make your scrapbook page with it, or you can use it for cards, either one. This would be cute on a card. Oh, what fun. I hope you can see this with the glare. Merry and bright, making merry, and then it's got all the numbers, that, you know, December up till Christmas. So that comes with that. And then this will be our second card. It'll be Jolly Delivery. I didn't use the stamps because I felt like the stamps were a little bit too small for my greeting on the inside. So we're going to use the paper from this. And it's awfully cute too. Let me show you. This has got the animals driving the postal van. This is the sheet that we're going to use for our card. And it's got all the postmarks on the back. And then we've got our animals on this page, the dogs. And I believe some of these cut out with the dies that come with it. All a collage of mail. Some cute little background pages with all of the mail or packages. I mean, I guess the packages would be with the bows. Some background paper there. And then it comes with these stickers. I mean, not stickers, punch outs that you can just punch. This whole page is punch outs. And then here's more animals. I know one of those bears is on one of the punch outs. And this is my favorite sheet, the pool party polka dot that kind of resembles snow. And then this is another page of punch outs that I used on another swap card that we did. And it was a fun fold. The step card. It's a pop out step card. And then it had a huge red bow that sat on the top like this. And so that I used a couple different sheets out of this package. This one in particular. And the back side is mailboxes. And of course, different countries have, you know, different mailboxes. And it shows some of those. Some of the house ones. I don't see my mailbox. Mine sits on a post out by my road. But there's more punch outs on this sheet. So I used a lot of the buildings when I made this pop out card. And so let's set this aside for now. Now I've got most of my pieces cut out, so I don't think I will have to cut anything out right now. So we're going to make the elegant card first, and that's this one. And I've done all my die cutting and everything to save a little bit of time. Here's my card pieces. So we'll just do our stamping. I'll set the other card pieces aside. And I'll set this aside. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to stamp the inside. And this will just go on the inside. It'll have the greetings for the inside of my card. Now this one I made with cherry cobbler cardstock, and this one we're going to make with real red. So let me grab my real red ink pad. And I've already got my stamps on blocks. And sometimes I put them on sideways like this, because then I'm not thinking that just because it lines up with my the top of my block that it must be straight, because it's not always. And I do use the grid lines on my paper sometimes to do that too. That's another. But this is cursive, and so it's harder to line up using the lines. And I'm gonna stamp this on a piece of scrap paper first, just to make sure that, yeah, it's inking well. I washed it last night. The stamps come with a little bit of residue on them from Stampin' Up! Because in the manufacturing process. So usually wash your stamp, wash your photopolymer before you, I hope my head's not in the camera here, before you use it, because otherwise your ink will beat up and you won't get a good impression. So there's our Merry, beautiful impression. I'll set this aside. We'll use it, well, we'll set this aside because I'm going to use it again when we do the green, I think, the other card. But now we'll do the Christmas, and it's just your standard type. So we'll just layer it underneath. And like I said, I can't see very well. I want it, I think, over here a little. Oh, and that did not stamp the top because I can't see. See if we can get it back on there. Oh, it's a little crooked. Let's turn it over and do it again. That's why paper has two sides. Did you know that? I will stamp my Christmas first. And then I'll stamp my Merry on the top of it. And then I will go ahead while I'm here and just go ahead and stick my designer paper on the bottom, and I'm going to close this up until I need it for the front. And I use these little glue bottles. I put my Tombow glue from Stampin' Up! In these little bottles I got off of Amazon. And I can give you the link if you need that. But they are just so handy. And I don't see that they clog up like Stampin' Up! Has a fine point one. But it clogs up really bad, and I'm not sure why. I mean, it has a needle that goes in the top and everything. But I like the glue because it gives you just a little bit of time to wiggle that designer paper or cardstock in place. And then we will put this on the inside of our card. And these are really easy to squeeze. Sometimes I get some arthritis pain in my thumb. And so that makes it really easy to squeeze the bottle. And it's got the little stopper on the top, so I just store it with the topper on and then store it upside down in my little storage organizer over here. Okay, so we've got the inside of our card done. Now let's do the outside. Now I will need my trimmer for this part. Normally I would say with your specialty paper, which is more expensive, that to punch something out of it, so you're using, you know, you can use this part for something else. But because we're going to cut the paper, I'm not sure we could get, we probably could get a punch. Let me see. Let's try this. We probably could get a punch piece out of it. Make sure I'm in the... I think we could punch this piece out. Because we do need one. And if that was too far, then I'll just cut another piece. But I don't think it will be. And I will cut my designer paper. No, I think that'll cover it. So let's get our trimmer real quick. We need to cut this. This is a standard card base. 8.5 by 4 1/4, or 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. So it makes your standard A2 card. This layer is just a 1/4 inch smaller, 5 1/4 by 4. And then this piece is 3 3/4. What did I do with my paper? 3 3/4 by, no, 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, so we're going to cut this in half, which would be 1 3/4. So we're going to cut this at 1 3/4. Okay, and then we're going to stack them up, and we're going to cut again at 1 3/4. Okay, and we're going to end up with 2 squares and 2 rectangles. Set this aside. And we're just going to position these on our gold foil paper. But this helps you get the most out of your foil paper. If you have an image that you need to cut out of it, I'm going to center this on the front. Okay. And then these are going to go one here, one here, one here, and one here. And see, that's going to cover where I punched out that piece of gold for my greeting. And I'm going to center these so they kind of have the same amount of border all the way around. Now, if I had flipped it, they would look like this. But I just didn't think the green went as well with the design that I had. So I didn't flip mine panels. So let's glue these on. And like I said, the glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room so that you can try to get your border the same. So I'd rather have more like sticking out in the middle than I would to try to get my borders, I would like my borders on the outside to be standard. I have a Whatnot auction tomorrow night. If anybody would like to come check it out. My name on Whatnot is also Frankly Stamping. Okay. Got a little bit of glue right there. And then we'll put this one on. Try not to get too close to the edge. And if I need like to pull some down, I can just take the edge of my glue bottle and kind of pull it down to the edge. But that one I must have not been watching as closely. So there's that piece. And your pieces, whoa, your pieces don't need a ton of glue. As well as they don't need a ton of dimensionals to stick to your, oops, to stick to your card. Okay, I think that's straight. Just think that's gorgeous. Okay, and then now we're going to do our, so here's the little piece we punched, and we're going to use it on the back. And then we're going to punch a piece out of our red, and we're not going to make it as big. This is the full punch. This piece we're going to cut just a little bit off of the bottom. Try to keep it level. And then I need a piece of white, which I didn't grab. Here it is. Not sure if this piece is big enough. Let's look. It is. And it's going to be even smaller. So I'm going to go, well, I need a bigger piece. When I push it up, that circle's showing. Okay. So I don't want this piece to be quite as long. So I'm going to take it up about like that. And sometimes if you get a little bit, like, I think different cardstocks punch differently. And if you get a little edge, keep a little nail file, and you can just kind of sand that little burr off of the edge. Now I'm going to glue this piece like so. And then I'm going to stamp on my white part. And then I'm going to put it here. I'm going to layer this. And I just want a little bit of each color peeking out. And then I will layer that like this. So let's stamp our greeting real quick before I put this together. And I'm going to use Warmest Wishes from the Delicate Pine stamp set. I already have it out. Beautiful. Okay. And then we're going to layer our greeting. think we had 18 people participating in our mystery swap for our team last night. And it was a lot of fun. And then we'll add our white. See, I've got a little bit of a glob, so I'm just going to push that out. Kind of smooth it out. I hope you can't hear my stomach growling because it is. I had to go get some blood work drawn this morning and I had to fast. And then when I got home, I started working on my blog and some of that stuff and totally forgot to eat. Okay, and I'm going to add some dimensionals on the back. Probably, whoops, way too many. One up here, and then one down here is probably plenty. Oh, I moved my trash can and to reach for it. Okay. And I think we'll put this about right here. And then here's our bow. And when you do the bow, it gives you 3 pieces. You get the tails, the actual bow that ties, and then you get the little piece that goes in the center, which is kind of hard to pick up. But I will use my, if I can find my take your pick tool in my little organizer here, I will use it to pick it up. And this just has a little putty on the end, and you just wind it up as you need more. And then when you go to put it away, you back this back off so it doesn't keep pushing and oozing out the end. And then I have a pick on my other one, and I just take those off because I like it a little bit in a little spatula. I like it a little lighter weight when I'm messing around with it, so I just don't add the other end unless I need it. Okay, so let's put our bow together real quick. And I'm going to put the red. I wonder, what if I did gold on top this time? Or does it need the red on the top? I like the red on the top, I think. Okay, let's just put a little bit of glue in the middle of our bow. Probably should have my glasses on. I keep putting them on top of my head and then I lose them. I mean, I'm looking all around for them and then finally think, are they on top of my head? Yeah, they sure are. And I just did that backwards. That's okay. I'll put the red on them. Hold it for just a second. And then I'm going to attach that to the gold. And let's put the gold one together first. Just need a dot of glue. Let that sit for a second. Hold it together. Let me lay it down and let it set for just a second. If I push it down, I'm sure that's the magic touch. That was the magic touch. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this to the top of the gold. And I just want a little bit of the tail sticking out, a little bit of the top of the top of the bow, so I'll hold that for a second. And then I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm going to pick up the gold and put a little dot of glue in the middle. And I'm going to add that to the middle of my bow. And since I used glue, I can move it around for just a little bit. Okay, so our bow is put together, and we're going to add that with some dimensionals to our greeting. And I'm going to use the minis so that they don't show under. So we're going to put one right here where it's thick. And then on this side, because this has got dimensionals on it, I'm going to put two here on top of each other. So I'm going to take the top off of this. And I don't know if the big dimensionals are thicker than the little ones or not. Take the top off of that. Maybe. Okay. I need to take the top off of that one. And then I'm just going to slide that up about like that. Now I could have not put a dimensional here and then just glued this to here and then used one or two dimensionals there so it wouldn't pop that up. And I think this is just stunning. And like I said, I just don't think it needs any more bling. I don't think it needs any jewels. I think it's perfect like it is. Okay, so that's our first card. We'll set that aside. And then here's our second card, our whimsical card. Get all my stuff off. Where did I put the pieces for that? Now this one we're going to do vertical. That one was landscape. This one is vertical. And here's our little pieces. And like I said, I've already cut the base. The base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then, or 4 1/4, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So you can use it this way, landscape, or you can use it this way as horizontal or portrait, as they call it. Now I cut a piece of the Real Red two-tone cardstock, and you'll notice this is the darker side and this is the lighter side. This is a little pinker and this is darker, and I want to sand it, and I used the 3D plaid, what is it called? The plaid embossing folder. Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. And I want this to be a little bit distressed. So I'm just going to take a little sanding block that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to sand around the edges. Because that's all that's going to really show is around the edges. And then kind of like towards the middle, because that's where our squares will adhere. Okay, that's probably enough. And then we're going to glue that onto our base, card base. Like I got grit on my paper yet. I need my microfiber towel, and I don't know where that's at. Okay, this is going to get centered on the front of our card base. So we've got Garden Green and the Real Red Distress. Okay, then we're going to take our designer paper, and I'm using this cute little piece with the mail cards and the postmarks, and we're going to cut that just like we did the other piece. If I can figure out where I put my cutter. I swear, I don't understand how it's so easy to lose things that are right in front of your face when you are designing. Okay, so we want to cut this at 1 3/4. And then we're going to cut it again at 1 3/4. And that's going to give us 2 rectangles and 2 squares. Okay. Now, I think we're done with the trimmer. This one I am going to flip. So let's see how we like this the best. So I wanted a full, pretty much full image of the little mail cart. And if I covered up anything, I wanted it to be the postmarks. So now we'll flip these over. I think I'll put it like that. And like this. So that will be our card, our whimsical card. And then for our focal point, we're going to use layered circles. And since this was two-toned paper, it left just a little edge here. And so I just used my sanding block. And I thought, I think it'll probably look pretty cool with just sanding the edges of that, because it will coordinate with our embossed panel. So our green will be our back circle, our red will be our second circle, and then our white will be the top that we will stamp on. And then those will go down here. So let's get these put on first. Where's my glue? I mean, see, it's like, where'd the glue go? And I keep a little rubber band on there so I can stick this lid under it so it doesn't flop around. Okay, first we're going to put on, and I'm going to use glue because this is ridges. These are ridges here. And so the tape does not stick quite as well. So we'll put that one there. And then let's see if we can line this one up. Let me pick that up and see if it's even. Okay. And then we're going to put this one on, the little square. And then our last piece. You can still feel that grit. Okay, now when you're trying to see, just don't, smooth it down. Just kind of lay it. Same thing with your tape. Don't push it down until you're sure where you want it. I think that needs to go just a sliver. Okay. Okay, now let's stamp our greeting, and I think we're going to use the same. Let me see if this fits. Oh, nope, it won't. It's too big. So let's get something out of this actual stamp set. And that's called the Jolly Delivery. So let's use, see, I used this on my pop-up card. Let's see. Hoping this Christmas is the most magical yet. Let's see. Yeah, I think that would work. And I wonder if I would want to use green ink or red. Probably red. Okay, let me get a block. I thought I cleaned all these, but this one's still got sticky stuff on it. And how does it get sticky stuff on it? I don't understand that either. Okay, we're going to use our real red. The frog. Okay. Okay. Then let's layer these. This, I used the 2-inch punch, the 1 7/8 punch, and that's the new one, and then the 1 3/4 inch. I'm not sure if that's current or not, but I keep my circle punches because I use them a lot. Now, I could have also grabbed circles out of Stylish Shapes dies and pulled one that had a little stitching on the side, but I had decided just to use the punches for this. Okay, now we're going to add some dimensionals on the back. We'll use our big ones. And with circle, I usually make a triangle on the back with my dimensionals. So that's giving support, towards the middle and the outside. And then we'll put that on, decide where we want to put that. Could put it way down here, but I think I want to put it where it kind of covers this intersection a little bit. Well, wait, let's get a little, I was trying to decide if I wanted to put a little Jeep on here. And I think I will. Let's try the red. And that just kind of covers up that one. But, what if I added one up there that went over the side of the, ooh, I think that's kind of cute. And then, oh, I think I'm going to do that. I think we're going to put, let me see if I have, oh, I do have this red one. I think I'm going to do that. Let's put some dimensionals on this one. This one I had not made yet, so I'm doing this one on the fly. Okay, so there's that one, and then let's get some on the red. Okay, now let's put this one on first, our pool party. And I think I'm going to like this a lot, where he just kind of is going over the edge. And the same with this one. And then we'll position our greeting. We'll just cover up. But now we have the whole thing. We have, you know, his bumper and the front of his car. And then we'll stick this right here, I think. Oh, I like that. I think that's cute. Now, we do have jewels for this, and they're called the Deer Dots. And let's see what we want to put on here. I think we could use a red one here. Maybe a green one here, and a little green one here. Nope, I don't like that one. I think it needs a big one. I like kind of a triangle shape. Put it down here, I don't know. Now this one seems out of place. We could have used a pool party one there. Flipped off of there and stuck. Okay, I think that's good. And now let's do the inside, which is just our white panel. And then I think we will stamp, see, hope this Christmas is the most magical yet. And then I think we'll put Merry Christmas on the inside too. And I think we're going to use, we used red, so I guess we'll use red again. If I can find the stamp or the ink pad. Oh my gosh. Here it is. See, it's usually, you know, right in front of your face. You just can't see it. Okay, let's put our Mary on. Make sure that I have this in the camera. And then our Christmas. Okay, and then for our embellishment for the inside, I'm going to use this little bear. I could use one of the little Jeeps. which, I mean, maybe I should since we used the Jeeps on the outside. I really like that bear though. Maybe I'll use him on another one. We'll go with the Jeep, male Jeep. These are really easy to cut out if you don't have the dies. Is that one of the ones that cuts out? I don't know what I did with my dies. Anyway, let's glue this inside. And there's other things that you can do with the inside of your card also. For instance, I could layer this in green or red, and then make it a three layer. And the two-tone cardstock is good for that too, because it's a little thinner than our regular cardstock, basic cardstock. So there we are. There's two different cards, two different directions, two different looks. This is an elegant landscape version where I did not flip the panels. And this one is a whimsical Christmas card where we did flip our panels and use some of the cutouts out of our designer paper. We used the punches, the circle punches for our greeting focal point, and then our Merry Christmas, and we used the some of the cutouts of the designer series paper on the inside too. So I think these turned out really cute. And if you are interested in making this card, check back. I will post the my project sheet. I will finish that and post it below the video, and it will also be on my blog at franklystamping.com. So be sure to check it out. Leave a comment. I would love to hear which one you like best. And if you're interested in purchasing any of these supplies that I used, those will be on my project sheet, and I would love to hear from you. So leave a comment below. I would appreciate a like or a share on my YouTube video. It helps them to be seen. And thanks for watching. Until next time.